Welcome to another week of Instigating with Clarkey and Drury, brought to you by our friends at Conway Furniture and, of course, Larry Hudson, Chevrolet Buick GMC. Ryan Drury alongside Clarkey. Very pleased to be joined by a guy who loves baseball as much as we do, and who better to have on after a frantic MLB trade deadline, especially for your Toronto Blue Jays, than our friend, longtime scout, instructor, coach, Tom Valcke. Tom, how are you?
It's been a while, fellas. Great to be back on with you guys, and definitely a big transition time for the Blue Jays. So good to talk about.
Hey, we've talked to you in Vancouver. We talked to you at batting practice somewhere in the States. Where are you today? You're in a car. Where are you?
I'm in Thunder Bay at Port Arthur Stadium. The 2024 World Cup of Women's Baseball is going on here. Canada we qualified because we're the host, but we would have qualified anyway. We're certainly in the top handful of teams, and but Japan and the USA are once again going to be battling for gold, as you would expect. Although Canada did take Japan into extra innings and Japan has won 38 games in a row. No one has won the World Cup besides Japan. And after the USA won it in 2006. So Japan is just a dominant fundamentalist team that they're a pleasure to watch, and oddly to say they're a pleasure to lose to, because they're very classy about the way they handle themselves.
Yeah, absolutely. Japanese teams have always been kind of well respected for the way they conduct themselves, and we'll see if they can make it another gold in a row. It's incredible. And obviously, we'd be remiss if we didn't mention that, of course, your daughter is on Team Canada, Tom.
Mia is, it's hard to believe how fast life goes, but she made Team Canada for the first time 8 years ago when she was 16. And it seems like yesterday, and because the team is normally comprised of 25 to 35-year-olds. Mia is now 24, and there are two 25-year-olds and her who are the oldest members of the team and the longest service with the team. So definitely a time of transition for them as well.
Is she still playing softball as well?
She is, but Softball Canada is not thrilled with her passion for baseball. And
Right.
It's the opposite from Baseball Canada. In those odd World Cup years when the softball is, Baseball Canada has not only allowed Mia to play, they've encouraged her to not play baseball that summer. They said, we don't want you to go to the World Cup and have a subpar performance and blame it on playing baseball. So we know where you live. We'll be with you next year, which is just super. And but softball seems to have a bit of a, and I mean like locally, regionally, provincially, nationally, and internationally. Softball people seem to have a hard-on for baseball that I've never really understood. And, when Jackie Joseph, the head coach of Michigan State, offered me an excellent scholarship offer, there was about 200 kids there that day, and Mia was the only Canadian, and she called Mia Canada. But she told the other girls, take a lesson from her, and all you other kids watching. She played boys baseball up until now. That's why she's so good at softball. So if the head coach of Michigan State softball thinks it's a good idea to play baseball, it's hard for me to swallow that someone here would know different or better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems strange for sure. And, speaking of knowing different and knowing better, that seems to have been Ross Atkins' MO for the time that he's been running the Blue Jays as we transition to that. However, some people's opinions of him have, in the very least, softened, and some people have even swung the full way around and are supportive of him coming back next year to continue running this ball club after the trade deadline. Tom, what is your thoughts on what Ross did and how the Jays performed in the front office for a very busy deadline for the team?
Yeah, and it's kind of like the commissioner of baseball. You can't deny that. Like, I'm not a fan of Rob Manfred whatsoever, and but he'll go down for putting the clock into baseball, and that was not an easy thing, and there's no taking that away from him. But there's 100 other things that bother me immensely about his policies, and I'm the same way with, I call him frickin' frack, but Atkins and Shapiro in Toronto. I mean, there's no denying that Atkins has done a very reasonable job with the starting pitching. When he signed Ryu, even, I know it hasn't panned out, but I never hindsight. And at the time, I thought that was a great get. When he got George Springer, I couldn't believe it. I thought Springer was just using us to get more money out of, some other organization, and we landed them here. So, I mean, they've had their moments for sure, but and Shapiro, of course, the job he did with not retooling players, but the whole minor league complex in Dunedin, and what he's done with the Rogers Center, again, I tip my cap. Those are undeniably great accomplishments and very difficult things. But overall, I just don't buy into them. And what kills me about both of them, Adkins in particular, is just how they can say so much, but really say nothing. And I'm tired of that. Mm-hmm. I think that this whole tsunami of metrics and analytics and Adkins' team of Sheldon and Leonard and Raj and Howard, every team has a staff like that. And if we're where we are, why aren't they being measured? Why aren't they being named in the paper the way our hitting coaches would be or anything else? Why aren't they being replaced or retained? Because they haven't done a very good job. How do you not have a team prepared? How did we go, 31 games without scoring in the first inning? You know who's starting for the other team. You've got the whole 23 previous hours to prepare your hitters for it. I don't get those things. And Adkins would be responsible for that and their influence. And I guess lastly, is the coaching. I would love to live next to John Schneider. I think he seems like a super guy. I love his story. He's been a Blue Jay forever, drafted, played in the minor leagues, coached in the minor leagues, won. I'm going to have to take a drink of water a couple times, sorry. Won a couple championships in the minor leagues. It's a great story for him to step into the Blue Jays as an assistant coach. But here was Montoya, who was also a wrong choice. 46-42 in a playoff spot if the season ended at that moment, and he was replaced. And Schneider was at that same number of games. Schneider was 6 games under 500. Why did they keep him? They weren't in a playoff spot. He hadn't done better than Charlie. He was put in a place to fail. And that team was, obviously they were in the playoffs back to the Montoya-Schneider move. And that didn't make Atkinson and Shapiro, that wasn't enough for them. They wanted to make a run at the playoffs, a run at the World Series. Thumbs up, super. Then why'd you hire a coach that's never coached in the major leagues before when people like Rob Thompson were available, like Buck Showalter was available, like John Madden was available at those times? Even if you take one of those guys for the rest of the season and see what happens, because you were in the playoffs. I can't really get over that colossal blunder. And so I with these acquisitions and trades here lately, they don't seem that bad to me. I think it was time to do it, to say the least. But what do you guys think? What's your favorite transaction of the 8 players have left the Blue Jays? What's your favorite, you guys?
Well, I mean, all I'm hearing is how well they did on the Yusei Kikuchi deal. My thing, though, is this wasn't a fun deadline. Like, I would have much rather been, as obviously, on the team giving up the prospects to get better and to win. But this team was nowhere near the position to do that. So it always sucks in my mind to get prospects for good players. I mean, you probably remember the Sil Campusano, who was the be-all and end-all in prospects. And this guy's going to be the best player ever. I don't even know if he played a game in the majors, so you never know. And the Jays don't exactly have a great track record either of developing players in the minor leagues and bringing them along. So these youngsters that they got, who knows how good they're going to be at the end of the day. I know we talked to, I can't remember who it was. I think it was Aaron Krolnick about these guys, Shapiro and Atkins, and he just said baseball just doesn't fire general managers in the middle of the season. I don't know. I think I would have. If you're going to retool this team, I think I would have brought a new general manager in to do it, because if Atkins comes back, I'm going to be floored.
What they're doing, though, is that they're trying, and Ross Atkins did it again at his media availability after the deadline. They're still trying to sell that they're going to compete in 2025. And
yes,
I don't
know why? I'll tell you why. They're trying to sell season tickets.
They want to sell season tickets for the nicely renovated Rogers and great. Now, we can dig into the specifics of how they can maybe go about doing that in a moment, but to answer your question, Tom, the Kikuchi thing, as soon as I saw that come down, I thought, wow, they got Jake Bloss, a pretty decent-looking pitching prospect who has major league experience already and has pitched innings for the Astros this year and pitched pretty well. But then when I heard that they got Joey Loperfido as well as Will Wagner, you start kind of going, wow, okay, they pulled 3 prospects for this guy. I don't know how much it factored in that Kikuchi was a lefty that can give you some length. But as soon as I saw the reaction on Twitter, which is a dangerous thing to put any stock into, the fans in Houston were furious. People down there were losing their mind. But then when I see people like Keith Law coming out and saying that the Jays did extremely well and fleeced the Astros, no way they should have got Loperfido and Bloss, you sit there, and that's something to get a little excited about, I guess. But I'm with you, Clarkey. It's just been such a soul-crushing season. And Tom, to swing it back your way, I don't know how can they realistically sell this to me? How can they compete next year?
I don't know. And I really wondered. It seemed like they're just not prepared to even consider sending Vladdy anywhere. And Bo Bichette, I mean, it wasn't like the guy led the league in hits the last 2 years. This has been such a surprise, and the injuries, you both commented on the Kikuchi trade, and I think I like it extra much because 3 months from now, he's on the market as a free agent, and he seemed to really like Toronto. And how can you not like him? And he has found himself back. He's the guy plus some that the Jays originally retained. I mentioned Ryu before, and I forgot to say that he didn't pan out because of injuries and things like that. But at the time they got him, it was a big move, and $80 million on a left-handed pitcher that should have resulted better. But that's not Atkins' fault that he got injured. And Kikuchi, they worked him through. I think Pete Walker really is an outstanding pitching instructor. He's got a great record. Can you imagine being a Blue Jays pitcher? How many times for 2 years now can you go out there, throw 7 innings, give up 2, and not get a W out of it? Like, it's been like Groundhog Day, this team, for 2 years. It seems like 10 years. Every night the starter goes 6 or 7, gives up 0, 1, or 2, and we're 8 or 10 games under 500. My God, it is so frustrating for those pitchers. Maybe that would keep Kikuchi away, but for Atkins to get those 3 guys and still have a shot at Kikuchi for next year, because we don't have a shot this year. There's no reason for us to think, had they not done this, they were going to find a 10-game win streak in them. They've proven it too many times over the last year and a half that this collection doesn't have that in them. And so that was swift. I think also it's always better to trade a guy too early than too late. I still can't believe they let go the catcher to Houston,
Marino.
Oh yeah, to Arizona.
Arizona, yeah. Yeah, it was ridiculous.
And also. The catcher we traded,
Danny Jansen.
I've got this family walking by. Sorry,
that's so good.
they are trading him at probably as peak at time. I know he's not doing super with the bat right now, but Jansen is a good hitter. And what the Green Monster and Danny Jansen, what a combination. I could easily see Boston wanting him. So, and arguably we might have, lost him at the best time, but I really worry about Kirk. Kirk is not an everyday catcher. He will never be an everyday catcher. He's hitting well right now, but I'm not sure what their pension is for him. Good for him to see a guy with a body like me playing in the major leagues, but it's just not ideal. It's not your future. And the other one of the 8 that they gave, I thought Turner lately has been hitting. I think Turner's, 39? So again, kind of they let him go at a time when he's playing well. I didn't feel that way about those guys a month or so ago. Pearson, I think Pearson just, I wish him the best. I think getting into an organization is just the very best thing mentally that can happen to that guy, because he's got 100 here, but it was time to do something with him, because he just doesn't seem to be able to get in those. Okay, finally he's here in the 8th or 9th, and then he's missing high. His curveball's not succeeding, and everything else. Maybe he will explode somewhere else. So I think the guys that they unloaded weren't the worst guys. IKF was that guy could come back and be an all-star someday. And he was fairly steady for the Blue Jays. Richards, he's got that magic splitty or sinker, whatever it is that he throws. And but he doesn't have the fastball ultimately to set that up to be magic for him. So, so I don't think it was a bad trade deadline for the Jays. Are they going to contend next year? Not with this bunch.
Well, not with the bullpen either, which they really didn't improve at all.
Right. No, and that's going to be a problem for them, and they have a lot of holes, and this team, with all the guys that they did have that they just traded away, couldn't score runs, and that's going to be the number one thing. Yeah, they need bullpen help. Yeah, they're going to need to get a catcher. I don't know if James McCann or Travis d'Arnaud, who are upcoming free agents, are going to tickle their fancy, or if they're even going to want to come to Toronto, because it's clear that Alejandro Kirk cannot handle a large majority of the work behind the plate, and they're going to have to plug a big hole there. But offense needs to be the focus here. And look, we heard all about coming into the offseason last year. They were in on Shohei, and they had this big deal ponied up, and they were willing to spend on him. And then when they didn't get him, they spent no money and didn't get anybody else. If they're serious and they mean it when they say they want to compete, and Ross Atkins comes back, they have to sign some guys that are hitting free agency this upcoming winter that could really turn their offense around. You've got guys hitting free agency like Juan Soto. Will the Yankees pony up and give him his deal, or will his agent walk him to free agency? We'll see. But if he hits free agency, you got to be in on that guy. You got to be in on a Cody Bellinger. Teoscar Hernandez is a free agent. Pete Alonso, a guy that a lot of people are connecting to the Jays potentially. They have to sign at least one, if not maybe a couple guys like that, if they seriously want Jays fans to believe they actually want to compete.
I agree with you, and I think that if they could get Kikuchi back, or someone of his, I know our it's funny because I look at the stats sometimes, and even with Bassett, I was looking at his stats, and they aren't good, but yet he does seem to be another guy who will give you a 6. And if I was a team out there, he might be a guy I like to. He's confusing to me. Him and his 8 pitches, and he's calling his own game. And I wouldn't suggest that approach to any pitcher, especially with a shot clock. But he seems to be able to manage it. And I'd pay to watch Bassett pitch. I like his competitiveness. He's quirky as hell, but he's a different guy to face if I'm a hitter. I guess that's what I'm getting at. So, yeah, couple of big bats in the middle of the lineup, and a pitcher of the Kikuchi stature. You got Gosman. Gosman is a great pitcher. I know he's not past anything. He'll be good, and and then we just need one more. Maybe the guy the lefty they got with the good arm, or you never know about the young guy that's come and gone.
Yeah, Ricky Tiedemann. Yeah, and now he's got Tommy John.
Right. No, Tiedemann is Tommy John. I'm talking about
Alek Manoah.
Alek Manoah.
We forget about
where
him.
Is
Tom.
he?
We forget about him.
Yeah. Well, he's making himself forgettable after being so memorable. I mean, he was third in the Cy Young that first year he came up, and
I still think he can do it. I really do. He can. I mean, he showed this year that he was turning it around before he got hurt. So
yeah, he got hurt. Yeah, it's tough, and the pitching market too. Like Kikuchi will be out there, but you look at Blake Snell will be a free agent. I don't think anybody's going to convince themselves that a guy like Max Scherzer is going to come up here, but he's.
But
a
you're
free
right,
agent.
Ryan.
Garrett Cole's a free agent.
Like if this team says if they are going to do what they say they're going to do,
they have to spend money.
They have to spend money.
You cannot tell me that they're going to bring up a bunch of these kids. No. And some of the kids they brought up this year, like Spencer Horwitz has looked pretty good at times. Sometimes he looks like he needs to go back to AAA. Addison Barger has ups and downs. Like there have been some okay stories, but not guys that are going to help them actually win 90 games and get into a wild card spot in the very least.
I still go back. Atkins shouldn't be the guy doing it.
Well, I don't know. I think we might have to prepare ourselves for him returning.
Delvin Keith coming back one more year.
Yeah. If they just let him do what he just did, that's saying that he's going to stick around. And, I don't know ever that Cleveland 2.0, why that was a goal. The Blue Jays have won 2 World Series more recently than Cleveland has won 1 World Series. I'll never understand why anyone thought they are the model franchise.
And how many has Alex Anthopoulos won since he left? More than the Blue Jays.
He's in the playoffs every year.
And he was a Blue Jay.
And signed really good deals.
And Rogers didn't want anything to do with Beeston.
Like Atlanta, they're having a really disappointing year this year, and they're injury riddled. But man, you look at like the future, they're going to be competitive for another at least 3 or 4 years. Spencer Strider will come back. They got Matt Olson at very good money. Ronald Acuna Jr. signed one of the worst deals in player history. They got him to sign for 10 years, $100 million. It's outrageous what they got him to sign for. Austin Riley, they killed on the Dansby Swanson trade. They got Sean Murphy. Like that team is so well set up. When you look at their roster on opening day, I put money on them to win the World Series. It's not going to happen, but man, like Anthopoulos done an incredible job down in the Peachtree State, and it begs the question of what the goal is here. And Tom, I think that's really the issue for Jays fans and why everyone's so frustrated. The mixed messaging. We want to compete, but we're going to trade away all the guys that are currently on the roster. Okay, good. We've got a bunch of prospects now for our brutal farm system, but now we're not going to further invest in that next year. We're going to turn around and try and be competitive again. The mixed messaging is really frustrating.
It sure is, and it's funny because I've been actually working down in Georgia for the past 5 months. And I decided when I went down there, the Blue Jays, when I talk, and I hear myself talking now, and it's a lot of negatives, but they're negatives because I love the Blue Jays so much. I don't even watch the Jays in 30 anymore. I watch every game in its completion. All 9 innings. I want to see all 4 of our starting pitchers. I want to see us going through our lineup. And I stay up ridiculously late living down there. And I told myself when I went down there, I'm going to back off the Jays a little, follow them, but I'm going to get to know the Braves. And that's all everybody talks about where I live. And I still haven't got to it yet. I hardly know the Braves. And Alex is there. And yet I love the Jays so much. I guess that's why it hurts so much when they disappoint all of us. Same as you two guys. It's not that we don't wish them well. It's not like we don't like them. We're just And are we rose-colored glass guys? I don't know, but it hurts so much to see them piss away leads, like they continually do, or not give their pitchers the run support. Oh my God, it's frustrating. And I kind of wish I could. I'll never get off them, but I mean, I wish I could get myself to watch more Braves games, and I'm still watching the Blue Jays. I'm in the cult. I don't know what it is. I really like them. I do.
And that's why we just want to see it turned around here. And, you talk about the prospect depth that they've acquired here. They ship out 8 guys. They get 14 new players in. Only one of them is a consistent MLB guy who's not considered a prospect. And that was Ryan Yarbrough, who they get back in that Kiermaier swap. And he'll eat some innings here for the end of the year. He's an okay pitcher, like not bad, comes out of that Rays system. But the rest of them, the other 13 guys they bring in, are all considered prospects. And Tom, like, you've scouted for a long time. You know the danger in selling too high and putting too much stock into a prospect, and also the danger of not giving guys a chance as well. I mean, you brought up Nate Pearson earlier. That guy not only used to be Toronto's #1 prospect a few years ago, he was a top 10 prospect in all of baseball, and look how it's kind of turned out. He just hasn't lived up to that promise. In your opinion, when you get a prospect, and especially a prospect that gets traded to a new organization, what needs to happen ideally for that prospect to succeed and become a regular everyday MLB player?
Well, most of it's up to him. I remember in the scouting days, there's that natural sort of cat-dog relationship between scouts and the minor league development system. The minor league development system, they're always saying to the scouts, why don't you, find some better players for us? And the scouts are saying, he's pretty damn good when I put him on the plane, and that's where that discussion goes, and it never ends. And, the guys, you mentioned those guys called up this year, they have all done well. And they're interesting. I mean, just last night, the big strong kid, Vargas, how do you see his name?
Barger. Yeah. Addison Barger.
Home run and a triple or a double out to the left field corner after he yanked a home run off a good Baltimore pitcher. So, and I mean, how can you not like Mustache and how, and I too, I like them.
Davis Schneider, yeah.
I like the guys that they brought up, and I know we got a third baseman amongst this trade group, but I'm not thinking that our third baseman. I'm so forgetful right now.
Is it Horowitz that they're playing over there right now?
Horowitz is at second, but I want to say Clement, but it's not Clement. It's
I think it might be Ernie Clement that they're playing over there.
Ernie,
right now.
Sorry, it is Ernie. Yeah. Over at third, like I'm not done considering him yet. So like the guys coming, the prospects should come in really exciting because there's some proven. They're bringing guys up. They took them long enough to start doing it, but they did finally, and they've all kind of worked out okay for the first time in the big leagues, or some of them a second shot. But I think they need to know that, the door is open if you prove yourself and just get in, give us some work, and we'll shove you up there because they, unless, I mean, I really hope they'll buy those 3 or maybe 4 guys, because don't forget we lost Jimmy as well. So we're going to need someone else, assuming Romano comes back and can find a version of himself. Like that
was a big loss for sure.
That for sure. And who did they get for Jimmy? Was that I think it was Guthrie and did you say it Clace or Clays?
Clase, yeah. Yep. Who apparently is a good prospect. We'll see.
And so I mean, if I'm a minor leaguer getting put into the Jays right now, I mean, you can always think 2 ways. Do I want to get on a playoff contender? Well, that'd be fun. How do I make the team, though? Because we're playoff contenders. Or do I want to get into a team that's turning itself over? I mean, hopefully they'll put in the work. It's funny, guys in the minor leagues. I almost felt like kind of a innocence loss when I had this theory that I always thought, like, if I wish I had a cup of could put a pint of Stubby Clap's blood in a bunch of guys I've seen. So that, because God gave them the talent, but God gave Stubby the drive, and that's the way the cards are dealt most of the time. And But when I became the GM of the Calgary Cannons, I had a bet from another scout, on a guy that I projected to go much further than the other scout did. His name's Jim Walton. He's the best scout probably in baseball history. I think most people would agree with that. And it wasn't that I thought I knew more than Jim. I was just tired of him roasting my butt, and he would question me. And I'd say, okay, Jim, the shortstop's not the best prospect. The right fielder is. And then after he asked me why 75 times to get to that point, and I just thought, and he'd say, you got no convictions, boy. And I remember this day, we were watching a guy named Trey Beeman, Clifford Trey Beeman. He went by Trey, but his birth certificate was Cliff. And we were at the same park in Texas, and I put him in at about a 53, 54, which says everyday major leaguer. And Walton put him in at about a 42, 43. But 10 points from the same organization at that time being the Major League Scouting Bureau. That doesn't look good to the teams when two guys trained equally are putting that much of a spread on the same kid. So Walton and he lived in just died about a year ago. He lived in Shattuck, Texas. So we bet a case of Shiner beer, which he drank in Texas, for Labatt Blue, since I'm in Canada, that Clifford Trey Beeman would never see the major leagues. About 5 years later, I get the GM's job in Calgary. I look at my roster. I'm going down to Bradenton to meet the coach and the team, and Ken Bonifay, the GM, and I see Trey Beeman in AAA. So I went and found Trey. He, of course, wouldn't remember me. I did meet with him after I saw him play, but why would he remember me? And I said, hey, anything you want, my friend. You want me to turn the lights on in the ballpark in Calgary at midnight, practice going to the wall to catch fly balls? You want extra BP? I will do anything to see you get to the big leagues. And, I always felt like I wanted it more than him, because the loss of innocence part was when you see so many guys at AAA getting paid peanuts when the average major league salary now, what is it, 3-4 million or something? And the minimum is I think $1 million now, or close to it. And you think, how can you not be you're at the last point. Yeah. And yet in any AAA dressing room after a game, there's going to be between players who have been sent down for injury or have been up in the bigs. And, you always got 6 or 7 veterans in that room. And I couldn't understand, like when the game ended, I hurriedly went to see the umpires, said hello, because that was something I always did at AAA, and then rushed into our dressing room, put all the money in the vault, didn't count a thing. I just shoved it all in and shut the safe. And I ran down to the dressing room so I could hear the post-game discussions about what just happened from the people that know it better than me. And the players, almost, if we had 25, 20 of them were out the door, the hair was still wet because they needed to go to the bar and find a gal or whatever they were doing. I was a real loss of innocence for me, because you asked earlier, one of you, a jury, you did, what does it take for these guys? Well, they've got to put the effort into. There's a revolving door right now in Toronto. So go down there. Don't go to the bar after the game. Listen to what everyone's talking about. Do what Earl Hershiser said. Remember what he said? I heard all those guys in Vero Beach saying, boy, if only I knew then what I know now. Well, I'm going to find out what they know now. And that's why Earl Hershiser became so damn good. So kind of a long story into yesteryear, but a disappointment that those talented guys, and they're at the next level, that they wouldn't just be busting their humps to get to the big leagues. I could never quite understand that.
Yeah, it's a tough thing for sure. And I don't know, there's a lot of new players here who are going to have an opportunity, and we'll see how much they can help the Jays compete next year. I just really hope there's some money spent on some of this great free agent class that's going to be coming up, especially with bats in their hands. I would love to see Pete Alonso wearing a Blue Jays uniform. Tom, I really appreciate you.
What are you doing in Georgia?
I'm, well, you're both sitting, so I guess I'll tell you. After 33 years full-time in the baseball industry, I now am employed as the senior director of franchise development with a professional soccer team.
Oh, no.
Wow, Clarkey loves that.
No.
Clarkey loves that.
No.
South Georgia Tormenta FC. But I'm enjoying it immensely. I have so much still to learn, but with COVID, the global baseball scene kind of shut down. became a supply teacher for about 3 years, and I love teaching. I love coaching more, but the baseball jobs are few and far between. And
can't you
we've all
just
got
call
egos.
Alex and just say, just give me a half hour one day and he'll hire you?
You know, I am in Georgia, and I actually have in touch with him, but he's so great. And you know, we mentioned his name earlier, and someone said Beeston.
Yeah, I
But
did.
if you were Alex Anthopoulos,
Yeah.
on top of the world, just named Executive of the Year, earned your stripes as a Blue Jay, made a few mistakes, but not many, and brought him back to the playoffs and galvanized the country and got kids following the Blue Jays in school and wearing Blue Jay shirts again. All Alex, a Canadian, bilingual, like the guy we all wanted. But when he saw the way the Blue Jays ousted Beeston, the most respected, revered Blue Jay of all time, Alex couldn't wait to get out that. He couldn't get out the door fast enough, because if that's the way you're going to treat Paul Beeston, that's what's ahead for me. We'll see ya.
Yep. Good old Rogers.
Yeah. It's a shame. It's a shame for sure, but I don't know. Hopefully next year, maybe it'll bring brighter days and brighter bats for the Blue Jays. Tom, thank you so much for your time, my friend. Good luck to Mia, obviously, and thanks so much for doing this from up in beautiful Thunder Bay, my friend.
It is, and let's keep rooting for him. I mean, I can tell the three of us aren't giving up on him. We just want the best. That's all. We just want the best, and it's there, and they do have the money. I learn that every month when I pay my Rogers Ignite bill, believe me.
Keep the bug spray handy out there.
Tom Valcke, you heard it here first, Pete Alonso. He is funding the Polar Bears trip to Toronto next spring. Come on, let's go. Tom, thanks for doing this, brother.
Great to see you guys. See you, Clarkey. See you, Drury.
Thanks.
All right, we'll take a quick break. When Clarkey and I come back, more from the MLB trade deadline, and we got to talk a little bit about what the Yankees did in particular, because they really stacked up. We'll talk about that next, and of course, the couch potato coming up here on Instigating. Welcome back to Instigating with Clarkey and Drury, brought to you by our friends at Conway Furniture and, of course, Larry Hudson Chevrolet Buick GMC. Thanks to longtime MLB scout, instructor, baseball coach, and now soccer guy, Tom Valcke, friend of the show. Clarkey's not impressed about the soccer stuff, but hey, man, he did a great job scouting for a long time in the baseball world, and maybe he can get things going on the pitch side for our friend Tom Valcke.
I guess.
And you know who always has stuff going?
Yeah.
Larry Hudson Chevrolet Buick GMC. Clarkey, tell us about it, because there's always something going on where the deals.
What are you doing this weekend there, Ryan? Are you going away?
No, I'm not doing anything for the long weekend.
You're in town.
I'm around.
You know what I'm doing on the long weekend? Monday in particular?
Buddy? Yes.
I'm working.
Yeah, because
a long weekend for Clarkey, because it's our huge 2 U's huge Civic Day sale at Larry Hudson's, where the deals are always hot. 0% financing for up to 60 months on some select trucks. Huge discounts, huge selection, huge trade appraisals, $1,000 in Civic holiday bonus. What are you and Janice doing on Monday? Your mom.
Well, Mom, I could, tap Mom up and see what she's got on the docket.
Visit me? Why don't you come visit me on Monday?
I could maybe convince Mom to have a poke. She's a big fan of Listowel. She likes the bakery, so
no pressure. I don't put any pressure on anybody.
No,
come on in and just take a look and see what we have to offer. There's Envisions, 24 Envisions, not like the number, but the year. 2024 Envisions have landed. We've been waiting since January for these to land. They're here, and they're very nice. They're redesigned this year. They're on the lot. Yukon, Suburbans, Tahoes, Yukon XLs, Chevy Trax, nice car.
Hey.
Good price. Can't get many new cars nowadays for less than $30,000, but you can get a Trax for less than $30,000. So it's nice too.
I'll say this.
Yeah.
Mom, there's a good chance that my mom might have had a hand in the construction of some of the vehicles, if not many of the vehicles on your lot. based on the fact that she's an auto worker. So, is there a discount for that, Clarkey? Like, I'm trying to wheel a deal here.
Yeah, for sure there is. Where does she?
We'll
get into this off the air.
We'll figure it out. Yeah, I don't want to tell everybody.
But I hope I see you on Monday, and I hope I see a lot of you out there as well. Come on in,
absolutely.
Ask for Clarkey, unless you have a rep, then ask for your rep. But ask
1,000 Wallace Avenue. 1,000 Wallace Avenue here in Listowel, Larry Hudson Chevrolet Buick GMC. It's going to be a massive blowout.
Ask for me if you like. Captain Kirk was in again today, and like Captain
ask
Kirk.
For Clarkey.
I've been talking about Captain Kirk on the air for how long? And I see him talking to another rep. Like, what do you like? Anyway, it's okay. It's okay. I'm over it.
Okay. You didn't take it personally, and that's why you're a stand-up guy.
Well, maybe I did. No, it's all good.
Okay.
It's
fair enough.
Anyway.
Well, I'll say this, Clarkey, based on what we said with our friend Tom Valcke, longtime MLB scout and instructor and coach, who was very gracious with his time watching his daughter play for Team Canada at the Women's Baseball World Championship up in beautiful Thunder Bay.
Nice family.
Absolutely very successful. They just love
As
baseball.
You know, I met them down in California. Well, I didn't meet Tom. I met Paula, his wife, and Mia.
Yes, and because she was playing on the Canadian softball team.
Correct.
Now we want there to be some big things happening. There's going to be a big blowout at Larry Hudson's. We want there to be a big free agent blowout, a huge blowout.
Yeah.
At the free agent market when the desk opens up and the phones get plugged back in up there at the Jays front office. We want there to be a huge splash in free agency to fix this brutal offense and give Vladdy, who is the hottest player in baseball the last month. That guy has been unbelievable. We need some help for this guy. And Clarkey, there's a lot of interesting free agents that are available.
There is.
And
actually.
you have
I have a list.
You have a list. You have a list.
Why don't we go through the list? And I want your opinion on if you think the Jays, like maybe you can rank them. What do you think? On the chances the Jays sign these guys?
You want is this like a pseudo Jerry's percentage or something?
Yeah.
Okay, I can. So you'll rattle a name off, and I'll put a percentage on the Jays signing this player. Okay, I like that.
Do you want to do that?
That's pressure. I like this. I like the pressure. Okay,
let's start with the old guy, Max Scherzer.
0%. He's
0%.
No, he's not coming to Toronto. No,
nothing. Zero.
Because, dude, if it was like 5-6 years ago, maybe, but like that guy's going to be 40. If he comes back and plays another year, it's going to be for big money and it's going to be for a World Series contender. No, 0.
Garrett Cole.
I think I might also say 0. I don't think he would come up here.
Okay.
I just don't think he'd come up here.
Juan Soto.
If he actually goes to free agency, and people might laugh at this after what I just said about those first two guys, I would say 50%.
What?
Because listen, and here's why. And I know my boss, Scott Kitching's going to be furious that I'm even entertaining this. But here's why. If he actually wants to get to free agency to squeeze as much money out of the Steinbrenners as he can, maybe he wants to stay a Yankee. But if it's true what we heard last year about Shohei and the Jays were ready to pony up that $700 million, this is the only other guy in Major League Baseball that I would pony up, not 700, but that 500-ish type mil deal. Soto is the only other guy in baseball I would do that for. So if he actually hits free agency and his agent takes your call, Ross, you got to be there and say, the Yanks are going to give you 5. We'll give you 560, 570. We'll front load the deal. We'll get you endorsements. If he will take your call, you have to do whatever you can with that money that you were going to give to Shohei and give it to Juan Soto, because he is one of the best young hitters I've ever seen and would give the Jays so much. Oh, and by the way, Clarkey, lefty bat.
Lefty.
50%. 50%.
Yeah. Okay. You've passed on 2 pitchers. How about this one? Blake Snell.
A guy who's had some really up and down years here, and he's like right back into like Cy Young talk. I would say 30-40%. I don't think it's realistic, and I don't think they want to spend anymore unless they traded Chris Bassett's $21 million and freed that up, and then could use that to throw more money at him than another team maybe could, and give him an extra year that another team maybe wouldn't. Because I think he'll be offered like 2 or 3 year deals. Maybe the Jays go, okay, well, we'll give you 4 at 21, 22 a year. I would say 30, maybe 40% on Blake Snell. Not hopeful on that one.
Okay, here's a guy that, hey, there was a lot of rumors in the offseason. This guy was coming. Will they get him next year? Cody Bellinger.
I'd say 60, 70%. I don't know what the Cubs are doing. They were weird at the deadline. They get Nate Pearson, but then they go out and they get one of the most sought after bats, if not the most talked about player in Isaac Paredes out of Tampa. They're last in their division. My Cubbies are not playing well, and Bellinger just got back from the IL. He's had an okay season. I don't know if the Cubs ownership is going to have the type of appetite to give him the money he wants. Maybe the Jays would, though, and there was rumors they were talking to him last offseason. Give me 60% on Belly. I'd love to see it.
Okay.
I'd love to see it.
Okay. Paul Goldschmidt, aging
0. I don't think. Yeah. You know what, though? He is the type of guy that this front office absolutely gets horny for.
Yeah. We need a first baseman. Turner. Well, wait a minute.
Yeah, they did it with Justin. Well, he DH, right?
I guess, but you're paying a guy a lot of money to DH.
So I'll actually change my answer. I said 0%. Maybe it's like 40%. Because he is the type of guy.
0 to 40. That's almost like his Blazer EV.
Yeah, that you can get at Larry Hudson.
How about 0 to 40 very quickly.
Yeah, he is the type of guy that this ownership group and this front office likes to go after. I still think it's unlikely, 40%, but I think Goldie will end his career with the Cardinals.
Okay, here's we're going to do a little run here of ex-Blue Jays.
Sure.
And I'm going to start with Teoscar Hernandez.
I'd say maybe 50, 60% they bring him back. I think they realize
Home run derby champion. Home run derby champion. 50, 60. Okay, Robbie Ray.
20%, maybe 20%. 25%.
And I'm going off script here. Yusei Kikuchi.
I'd say 80, if not 90%. Wow. He actually lives in Toronto.
Yeah, he does.
And has talked a lot about how much he likes
Not many guys do it. Not many guys do it. When they leave the team,
don't.
Not many come back. I think Aroldis Chapman might have for the Yankees. But there's
80,
not many.
80 or 90%. I'd say 90%. I think Kikuchi would come back.
Okay, I'm not a fan of this guy. Pete Alonso.
I would say 80%. Like there were rumors.
No.
I'm saying, why don't you like this
I
guy?
don't know why I don't like him. I don't know.
Power bat.
I don't know. I'm just not a fan. Not a fan.
He would incinerate the Rogers Center. He is such a power bat.
I don't know. I'm just not a fan. I don't know why. Bear. You know how sometimes you just don't like him? Patrick Corbin.
0%. That guy's a gas can. He might have trouble getting signed, period.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, negative 5% on Patrick Corbin.
Sorry,
Patrick.
With his drum, Alex Bregman.
He is a third baseman.
He is.
I actually think that the Jays would be interested in him in terms of the likelihood he'd come up here. His old buddy George maybe in his ear.
Mm-hmm.
Give me 50% on that one.
50.
Give me 50%. Okay. Maybe a light 55.
Charlie Morton.
10%. Yeah, I don't think Charlie Morton would come up here.
Rizzo.
Oh, Anthony Rizzo, a Cubby great. Oft injured, just can't. He doesn't have that bat anymore. 0%.
Okay.
Yeah, veteran guy, but I don't think so. I don't think he'd come up here.
Okay, let's do one more. Giolito.
See, there's another guy who's a pitcher that I actually think that the Jays would maybe be interested in.
Mm-hmm.
Would the Red Sox keep him? You never know if that ownership group's going to spend money anymore. But if he were a free agent, I think there's probably a 60, 70% chance, maybe even an 80% chance Giolito would come up here if the Jays threw 15, 20 million at him, especially if they trade Bassett. and free that money up. There'd be no excuse not to go after a guy like that. He's got a wicked changeup. I love Giolito's changeup. Yeah, I'd say, give me 80% on Giolito.
So I just mentioned 15 guys.
Yes.
Realistically, now you were over 50 on a lot of them. How many of those 15 will they actually sign?
Clarkey, it's got to be bare minimum 2 of them, and I would rather it be none of the pitchers. I would rather, like, if they got Bellinger and Alonso,
well, they need to improve
massive success. They got to sign at least 2 of those guys if they're serious. Ross the boss came out and said we want to compete.
Guys,
you can't do that with a bunch of kids. We got to stop
thinking this guy's going to be in charge. He is gone. Telling you,
I'll believe it when I see it, brother. I'll see it when I
believe it.
Yep, exactly. That was fun. But they got to get 2 of them. They got to get 2 of them, Clarkey.
I hope Adam wrote all those down. We'll have to revisit this in
well, it's recorded.
February.
It's recorded. Let's do that. Let's make a mental note of that right now.
Yeah, and we better make more than a mental note because we're never going to remember. I'm not going to. There's no doubt about that. I won't.
We'll revisit it. And you know what? We always like to revisit.
Yeah.
We always like to revisit our friends at Conway Furniture. And for those of you out there, maybe you're new to the show, and welcome. We appreciate your viewership, your listenership. But for everybody out there who watches every week, and we know you do,
that's right.
Maybe you forgot, and producer Adam knows what to do here. Remind everybody, our friend Phil Main, the radio legend, where everybody can visit Conway Furniture.
Conway Furniture, Highway 86, just east of Listowel.
There it is.
Yes, sir. And look, Highway 86, east end of Listowel. You go in there, and the best part about our friends over at Conway Furniture, they want you to join the couch potato movement, okay? And
Adam's
to do that.
Adam's ready all the time with this.
Guys,
stuff. He's so good.
Listen, we don't need to dig into how good producer Adam is. But listen, they want you to go in there and be a couch potato with us. And in order to facilitate that, all the prices you see in there include HST and delivery, ladies and gentlemen.
That's right.
They'll bring it right to you.
Flooring too.
Flooring, lamps, different accessories to spice up your home around your new couch so you can be a couch potato. Recliners. Hello.
Still celebrating 55 years?
55 years. You see
Guess
it on
how
the
long
logo
ago I got
week.
that glass?
55 years ago? No, I'm just
5 years ago. 50.
Yeah, unbelievable.
That was their 50th.
Staple in the region here, and there's a big reason why. It's because Conway Furniture, they deliver for you, baby. HST and delivery included in the price you see on the stuff in there. Go see them. All right, Clarkey, couch potato. I always yield to you, and I'll do it again here. I'm fired up about this one this week, though. But I'm going to let you go ahead. So what do you have on deck for us here? Your Conway Furniture couch potato.
I was thinking of naming Captain Kirk a couch potato. Not for just what I mentioned before, but today he brought in, and no, this is very nice. He brought in some cinnamon rolls. Now, however, after my speech last week about feeling a little old and going to the seniors day at Shoppers Drug Mart and everything, I've cut back on the sweets, and I'm doing really well. I'm really doing well. And they sat on my desk for about 5 minutes. There was about 5 of them in there. He said his daughter runs a bakery, and I didn't have one. I thanked him, but I didn't have one. And that was hard. That was very hard to do.
Yeah,
but it's not very
anti. That's very anti couch potato. I like.
You're right.
You showed some real restraint.
You're right.
God bless you, brother.
I'm laughing because my couch potato. Okay, Adam, just roll the viz. Don't roll any audio, but just roll the viz because this happened in the past couple of weeks. But Cal Quantrill to the ultimate couch potato, Reese McGuire. Got in a little heated argument, and I'm not going to mention what he said. But Reese McGuire, back when he played for the Jays, now it wasn't a couch he was sitting on; it was his car. But like just go research it. But it was a little fun back and forth. Not fun for them, I guess. He pops up. It's a nothing game. It's an 8-2 game, as you can see. He pops up, and then Quantrill gives it the I got him. And Reese then yells out at him, and there's a little trading.
You can read his lips.
Exactly.
You can read his lips.
And then he referred to the car, and not the couch, but the car, when he was with the Blue Jays. Just research it if you don't know. I just thought it was kind of a funny moment. And Cal Quantrill, is he Canadian or?
I believe Cal Quantrill is Canadian. Let me
Paul
Google that really quick.
Paul, who his dad played for the Jays.
Producer Adam, right on top.
There you go.
He is
so
Canadian.
Ontario.
There you go. So
there it is. Good Canadian boy getting in a good Canadian
It was fun because
scuffle.
the bench is emptied, of course. The bullpen's emptied. And they showed Cal, and Cal's calm as a cucumber, just sitting on the bench watching it all. Anyway, good old Reese McGuire. I don't know if that'll ever leave him, what he did.
Yeah, you can look it up, and we had fun with it at the time too. Back in the day, it was quite a thing.
In fact, Tom might have referred to it when he was talking earlier.
Yeah, so
not directly.
Not directly. I
I
know what you mean. Yeah, little inside joke here at this point.
Well, it's not inside if you listen to the show. Anyway, there you go. So Cal Quantrill and Reese McGuire. More Reese McGuire.
Reese, yes.
Yeah, he's my couch potato.
Car seats recline too, brother.
Boy.
All right. I just want to say quickly, this is so inappropriate. I just want to say here, my couch potato. Look, I you know this, Clarkey, and we had friends obviously in the sports gambling world on this show at one point, and we, I like to throw a little cash down every now and again and bet on some ball. I won some money last week. Like it's fun. But I would describe myself as a casual gambler. I don't like to spend a lot of money on it. It's not a good thing to do, but toss a little, $10 down here and there, make a little parlay. It's fun. I enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
I never once sit there and feel scorned by the athletes or anything. And hey, again, this is coming from a guy that doesn't lay down $2,500 on an over/under strikeouts bet or something, right? But even then, like, look, it's your money. You're spending it, right? This guy, producer Adam, put this up. John Boy shared this. John Boy Media. They got a great baseball show, Talking Baseball. This Amazing. Exchange on Instagram. Now you can see here, this is Brent Rooker, who is the all-star of the Oakland Athletics. And I'll read you what this says. If you do this to athletes, you are such a loser. This is so lame. A guy sends Brent Rooker a DM, a direct message for Clarkey and you older folks out there, a direct message on Instagram, and it says, "You screwed me over yesterday. I was one leg away from $21,000. Obviously, this guy had a parlay on hits, and you could only hit singles." This guy's taking a run at Brent Rooker because all he needed was Brent Rooker to hit a double at least, and he would have won 21 grand. Mm-hmm. And Brent Rooker's response below in gray there is, "My brother, I cannot even begin to express how much I do not care." And that's the correct response. So my couch potato really is twofold here. Take a seat and recline back and revel in your return fire, Brent Rooker, who is arguably the lone bright spot on the A's this year. He's turned into a fantastic ball player. He's fantastic. I love Brent Rooker. And the other guy, the guy that DM'd him, if you do that, you're a loser. You are such a
come
loser.
On, who cares?
Dude, come on. You DM an athlete, it cost me $21,000. You are a loser, scum of the earth moron. Well, Brent Rooker didn't have to, and it was funny what he said in return. Yeah. "My brother, I do not care." Yeah, it's so
surprising
stupid.
he
don't do that. Don't even.
Like his
don't
DMs are even on.
Well, he screenshotted it and sent it to somebody, and like, John Boy, those guys are pretty chummy with a lot of the players, and it got out there somehow. So yeah, it's such a loser move. Don't gamble then. Like, come on, you can't It's so stupid. Anyway, that's it. That's our Conway Furniture Couch Potato, Highway 86 East End of Listowel. Go visit our friends at Conway Furniture. The prices there include HST and delivery. Thanks to our friend Tom Valcke for joining us this week, chatting about the Blue Jays. We'll see if any of these prospects make the future any brighter. I sure hope so. We appreciate you watching the show every Friday night and Sunday night at 9 and 8 respectively, Fridays and Sundays, with our friends on Whiteman TV. That's channel 6 for Whiteman subscribers. We debut on our YouTube channel Friday nights at 9. Follow us on social media at InstigatingPod. Find the podcast version on all your favorite apps. I'm Ryan Drury. That's Clarkey. Producer Adam on top of things again this week. We'll be back next week with more instigating.